Hi there, Soul Seers. Yeah, never mind this. Okay, so this video actually has two parts, part one and part two. And I would like to say that this is like version one and version two of the same read. So pick whichever version you like the most and click on the timestamps. You can see both the readings. Both the readings are going to say the same thing only. It's just that version one is the one that I recorded first, version two is the video that I recorded later on. So whatever suits you, you can check that out, all right? Bye then. Hello, soul seers. Welcome to this seer tarot readings. I don't know. I do collective readings, and let's see if this message resonates with you. It does. If it doesn't, it doesn't resonate with you. Um, you don't need to see the entire message. There's no what is it? There's no forcefulness, or there's no pressure to watch it till the end, you know. um, See it, take what message comes out for you. Mostly in my tarot reads I'll be talking about a particular storyline, and that storyline will have a message for you. That storyline will have a message for you, and do what you will with that information, do what you will with that message that is to come for you. So yeah, this reading is not meant to, none of these reads are for entertainment purposes only. None of these reads are meant as a second opinion to professional advice. This is not an advisory or a counseling channel. This is just a tarot channel where I will be weaving my tarot cards to create the magic that we need to see today. What is the magic that will be presented for you guys through my collective reads today? That is it. That is the only thing that my tarot cards are here to convey to you guys. All right. So yeah. I'm getting something about Akashic records right now. So we already have a few bunch of cards. Let's see what they all mean. Okay. Yeah, I think the Queen card, the Siren card, and the Village card wants to come through. So I'll put them in there. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. One, two, three. All right. So let's see. Okay. Since we have already, I'll put it in here and I'll just continue to keep the cards. Okay, it's a bit too odd. We are getting on it. I don't know why am I getting the word bone breaking, which is very weird with the siren card in there, because you know, I'm not saying fishes don't have bones, but as compared to human legs, fishy legs are, yeah, they feel a lot more like muscle, right? So alright, I'll just keep it in here. These are your cards for today. We have the queen upright in the back of the deck. So let's see. Okay, so I just read the cards. We'll go to the tarot later on. Let's talk about the oracle cards that came first, right? And I think I'll have to admit this one thing. I really don't. I've read the Queen energy many times. The more times I read it, the more it reminds me of Ponyo's mother. If you have seen, I think the name of the anime is also Ponyo, but this is a Studio Ghibli work. Ponyo, I think the name of the movie is Ponyo, and there is a lady. There's a lady who is Ponyo's mother, and she's this huge, powerful presence, right? She's this huge, powerful presence of a woman who is kind, graceful, just, courageous, doesn't lose her patience, doesn't lose her wit over the smallest things. She's the most compassionate and kind being to ever exist, right? So this is the energy that is coming through subconsciously. All right. So let's talk about this. Immediately, I'm already getting like maybe I should stop or maybe I should not generalize these cards. But I would like to keep, okay, fine. Immediately as I see these cards, my mind generalizes the situation, okay? What I'm thinking in my head is that there is this individual who understands the awakening of lust, or they understand, because siren, right? Siren in reverse is often the card where sirens, if you know what sirens are according to myths and folklores, sirens are these beautiful mermaids that can lure that lure the sailors and their ships in sea whirlpools, or they lure them or they lure them into why am I saying lure them? It's lure, right? Fuck. Lure. Why am I saying? Oh Lord, I just hate it. How did I forget? What am I saying? Yeah. So they are like, okay, I think I just confused between the words lurking and lure. Lure, and I just like, it's lure. Dude, I need to find out the pronunciation of Lure. All right, I'm confusing between lurking and Lure. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that they have this kind of allure about them. Allure, or is it allure? No, it's allure. Yeah, sirens have these kind of allure about them that they will take the pirates with them down under the sea, right? Once the pirates or the sea captains or the sailors hear her singing, they forget about everything. They forget about this upcoming storms. They forget about life. They forget about death. They forget about every single survival tactic that life had taught them, and desire comes over them. Desire comes over them to the point that they are ready to go behind her to the depth, to the depth of the oceans just to die, so that they can experience that desire with her, with the siren, right? Siren upright is basically, when this siren is upright, this is basically talking about someone realizing their internal um, arousal, internal desire, like their um, sexuality, right? This in reverse makes me feel like somebody is like somebody who works under those places, somebody who works in these, or somebody who knows, like somebody who's working around the area, like it almost gives me like somebody who's easy to, now I'm getting the word lurching, so someone who's easy to, yeah, someone who's easy to lure, or lure, someone who's easy to lure. Oh lord, I need to find the pronunciation of that spelling. My phone is busy recording right now, I can't even like go to Google and search. Damn. But yeah, it's that's what it gives me. It gives me like there is an innocent heart, or someone's innocence, someone's, I'm getting like a naive individual who has gone into the depths of the ocean, and they are being basically manipulated by this siren, or they are like some, like whoever the siren is, they know that they are using um this naive individual's addiction, or this naive individual's sexual awakening against them, and making them desire for more, and making them you know follow them under the ocean. So the siren knows that, so there's some sort of, and then the crone in reverse is basically somebody who feels, somebody who has experienced it all, somebody who has experienced um, death, life, death, sex, decomposition. Crone upright is basically, she's often considered as the mother figure, right? And crone in reverse gives me an energy where somebody is basically very bitter. They are very bitter and they are very bitter about the fact that truth exists, or they are very bitter about the truth. I feel like this, it's not like this person doesn't believes in truth. This person could be you, this person could be the person we are talking about right now, whatever, whoever this individual is, right? Take it as it resonates. But what I'm getting in here is that there is this person right here, and they are basically having a very hard time holding on to the truth, holding on to the, I'm getting, they're holding on to a lie. So it's almost like they've realized what the truth is, but it's hard for them to confront it. I don't know why I'm getting like a cheating, like this is something about a cheating spouse. Somebody knows that their spouse is cheating on them, but they don't have the courage to confront that cheating spouse. So they are trying to keep up with the lie that they don't know about it. And it's getting very hard for them to keep up with the lie of the fact that their spouse isn't cheating on them. All right. Like they are having a very hard time maintaining that composure. All the while they are trying to get divorce documents from the lawyer, they are having a very hard time trying to play cool, or trying to play innocent, or trying to play the fool in front of their partner. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting in here. So like, I don't know, the siren and the crone is a very feminine energy, and there is like a depth of that feminine energy. And the Hierophant in reverse also gives me that energy, plus the sun upright. It's all, I won't say that Hierophant has of always given me this um, matriarchal energy, but in this particular Hierophant right here, the woman who is writing history for other people, the woman who is writing the religion for other people. She is a matriarch, right? So there is something around the lines of that, like I just feel like there is an end to a matriarch, or an end to some sort of feminine policing or something like that is here. All right. The siren in reverse almost gives me like this is something, and the queen upright is here in the back of the deck, right? So it just gives me, and for some reason I just cannot, like, you know how queen in here has a moon in here, and the world in reverse is holding this globe in her hand, sorry, earth in her hand. Both of these are luminary, not luminary bodies, both of these are celestial bodies, right? And they are together. So I don't know what to make of it, but something around the lines of what I'm getting in here is that somebody knows that they were manipulating someone, and it's almost like they are sick of the truth being highlighted to them every single day. That's what I'm getting in here. All right. um it's like there was someone who had been I'm also getting, like, now I'm getting in my head that there is a siren. She's trying to manipulate this sailor to come behind her, and the crone in reverse gives me the sailor. It feels like the sailor is sick of the truth that this siren doesn't think that this sailor is their type. So there's something around the lines of that as well in here. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know why I'm getting like someone could be itching. Yeah, someone could be itching to know something about the other person, and they are sick of lying to this other individual. Yeah. It also gave me an idea of a person who has seen a lot of things in their life. I was also getting a very feminine energy, right? I was getting a very feminine energy who had to accept a lot of pain and suffering in her life, and she had to manipulate people, and it's not like she did not do any bad things. It's like she had to accept a lot of bad things. She did some bad things to get her way out of her life, and I feel like she's having a huge, like, she's I won't say feeling betrayed, but she's basically trying to bridge a like she's basically trying to connect to her. I don't know why I'm getting, she's trying to connect to her fame, or she's trying to connect to her old self back. Like she wants to go back to her old self, or she wants to go back to the place where she started it all, to the origin, or something like that. Like it just feels like she has bended her rules, or she has bended her morals to the point and extent that, yeah, because crone in reverse doesn't gives me crone in reverse. No matter how many times it comes, it always gives me moral injury, right? It gives me like somebody who has accepted the fact of what is happening around them, but they are not able to sit in peace with the fact that something is happening around them. Like they know what the truth is, they have accepted the truth for what it is, but they are having a real problem with finding a sense of peace in that truth that they had to accept, that they had to swallow, that they had to embody. So this is the thing that I'm getting right here. I feel like whatever this is, this could be definitely, this doesn't gives me anything traditional. This gives me something that you did out of tradition, or this person was doing something that was not abiding by the rules, or they were not abiding by the rules. They did something outside the rules. They did something, um, um, how do I say this, outside, like they were, like there was a certain rule that they had to follow, and this individual, um there's a certain rule that they had to follow, and I just feel like this individual did not want to follow that rule, or they, yeah, it's like they took a certain path in their life that did give them a lot of fame. It did give them a lot of success in their life. Yeah, but there is something around the lines of, hmm, I forgot to mention, when I was reading about the crone card, I realized that I was like getting a lot of weird like something, I was channeling something in my head, and that was about a weird documentary about how rich elites like to eat human beings in their platter, right? In their high social elite parties and all that stuff. So I don't know why it was as if as I was reading this, it was as if, it, like I had to accept the fact that this is something that is happening, but I also felt really angry, really vengeful, and really vindictive against the people who were doing this. And naturally so, right? Because who would do that? Why would you do that to a human being? Why would you do that to a person, right? It's so harsh, it's so bad. um yeah, and that's what I'm getting right here, that there were these people who are doing some things, some very questionable things. I'm getting like they are doing wicked things, and they are like, getting away with their own, I'm getting demolition. So it's almost like the demolition that they are creating out of their sexual arousals, or the demolition that they are creating out of their venereal desires. And I feel like you had to accept that truth. You had to accept that truth about these people, but it's this extra, it's this, it's the catch. It's like basically the catch is, you don't believe in it, it's disgusting to you, and you wish you could die. Like it's all, oh God, okay, not that, but it's almost like the catch is, you feel disgusted by this. There's so much disgust around you, and it's very hard for you to transmute that energy. It's very hard for you to transmute that disgust that you feel out of people. um because in reality there is nothing right, wrong, left, right, good, bad, right? But it's almost like it's this it's this cruel, I don't know why I'm not able to pronounce any words today, but it's cruelty, right? The cruelty of like, why am I pronouncing it as cruelty? It's cruel, right? the cru- yeah, but I'm not able to make those words in my head. I just don't know why I'm putting that accent, not even an accent, it's like I'm not able to pronounce that properly. So I don't know, it's just like this cruelty, or this cruelty, cruelty. Yeah, yeah, this cruelty is something you haven't, yeah, it's, how do I say this, bro? Now that I said the word, pronounce the word properly, I forgot everything. And that's what I'm getting in here. It's almost like, what wrong, the wrong, what is going on. Oh my god, I'm not able to form my words. All right. Okay, so there is something wrong that is going on around you, or it's almost like that you have to accept this wrong as your new reality. It is, yeah, it's like I just feel like for many of you, you cannot accept this kind of wrongdoing on other people's behalf. You cannot accept it. And that, and you're not able to find peace with yourself knowing for a fact that you allowed, or that you were a part of a place where something so disgruntling and disgusting had occurred. All right. And what I'm getting in here is that you're being asked to connect with your roots, you're being asked to connect with your nature, with your own inner self. Yes, because uh, yeah, what I'm getting in here is that you did not, I just feel like, yeah, you did not, like, yes, you definitely did invest, or you were like planning to go into this. Like, I feel like this was a dream that you had dreamt of for a very, very long time in your life. Maybe you were dreaming of this place, or you were dreaming of meeting this inspiring human being, and you were trying to, this was like a long term goal in your life. This was something that you wanted to build for a very, very long time. And what has happened is that it just didn't turn out the way, like, you just saw another, like, I just feel like the coin flipped and you saw the other side of this individual, and it was gravely unjust, or it was gravely against your moral, I don't know why I'm getting your moral policing. So some of you, for some of you, the reason why it is so hard could be because of the fact that you had been moral policed in your life for a very, very long time. And how do I say this, like, you were often told that, doing this is wrong, doing that is wrong, doing this is wrong, and doing that is wrong. And all of a sudden, for example, somebody told you that sex is wrong. All right, like somebody taught you in childhood that sex is wrong, it is sin, it is a bad thing, this, that. And one day you just wake up and you find this huge ass rapist around you, and it makes it even harder for you to like sex anymore, um because the rapist has decided to inflict that, because unfortunately, like, it's like you had to witness a rapist doing it to someone, or you had to witness an an assault, right? You had to experience, it's not like you had to experience, but I don't want to wish that on anyone. What I'm trying to say is that you already hated sex, and then all of a sudden you saw somebody getting sexually assaulted, or you saw news about some people getting sexually assaulted, and all of a sudden you just hated the idea of, yeah, and it makes you hate the idea of sex all the more, right? And this is what I'm getting in here, like, yeah. And it makes you like, you are definitely like, yeah, I think once you saw the flip side of this individual, or you saw the flip side of the situation where somebody is, you know trying, where somebody is so unjust towards you or towards your people, you started crashing out, you started calling them out, you started screaming at them. You started, I'm also getting like, you started making their life a living hell or something like that. I don't know, it's, which is up to you, take it how it resonates. But yeah, it's almost like you're in hurt, you're in some sort of deep pain, and because of this disappointment, you have stopped, you've cut off contact with the entire world, and you've stopped seeing the people around you. Yeah, the world in reverse and the queen upright gives me that, the queen is this very kind, soft hearted, compassionate energy that handles herself with grace, right? She handles herself with grace. She handles herself with that dignity and that power, right? And she coming in reverse in the world card, and for some reason I just remembered that Ponyo's mother also was a very huge person, right? And look at that, she's like, this mermaid in here, she's literally like way more bigger than the entire earth right here, almost sort of like that, right? So I don't know, it's kind of giving me that energy right now, like it's something is absolving of its own meaning, or maybe, yeah, I just feel like maybe for some of you, you could be feeling like your world has turned upside down, or it's almost like the goal that you were so ardently trying to reach, right? Because I'm seeing a circle in here as well. I'm seeing, so it almost reminds me of that Ouroboros circle, right? Something around me tells me that the dream that you had been dreaming of since childhood, the place that you wanted to go, it's almost as if this disappointment, or this state of imbalance, that this news about this individual, or about these people, or about this place, or about this dream has brought to you, has um I won't say made you give up, but there's something around the lines of it has basically turned your entire view about it, and you're not able to conclude. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. You're not able to come to a proper conclusion about this. You see how the crone is also being held by a hand, and the yeah, it just feels like you're not able. It's like, I won't say mishandling, but I'll say that you're not able to handle the situation. Yes, it's very hard for, see, because there are so many hands that are coming out here and trying to touch each other. What I'm getting in here is that it's like you're not able to handle this well. You're not able to handle the truth that well, because the truth is in aligning with your former beliefs, or the truth of what is happening, or whatever is acceptable in these particular places is not how you thought. How do I say this? I'll just say this one thing, all right? Don't get offended, but this is something that happens in my hometown. So in my hometown, there is a place called Majar, all right? Majar is a place where you have a Hindu temple and a mosque which are connected together. So that is a Majar, right? So that is a concept that we had learned as kids. I grew up in a place that is far away from India. As I like when I first entered into the Indian subcontinent, and I started seeing the religious differences between these people and how much extreme it was, I realized that the concept of Majar is way too modern for them. Or I just realized that some things that I had been taught as a kid in my hometown, which were often considered as the norm, are not the norm anymore, because they think that it's, yeah, they are not considered as the norm anymore, because trust me, if you go to the village areas and all those places, you'll see that most of the Muslim and Hindu majority, they both are like blending together so well, right? But as we are moving towards the city, as we are moving towards these places with huge social media presence, huge political presence, we see so much separation that the idea of Majar itself sounds like a very distant idea for these two religious ideological groups, right? And we just realized that, all right, like the things that I like, as some when I came from that village to Indian subcontinent, right, I just realized that whatever I had been uh, whatever I had been dreaming about, whatever metropolitan cities and all these places that I was often dreaming to be a part of, often dreaming to be, to work in their offices and to find out this um, what it would be like to be around these people and all that stuff. I just realized that it's just um, yeah, I just realized how disappointing it was later on in my life, and how much this entire narrative of people needing to follow trends, or people needing to follow the big group of people, the technological advanced group of people, is not always the best solution for social harmony, right? And that's when I was like, because even in our place back there, we don't have that sort of extremist Islamic culture where people would try to I still remember my classmates would never wear a goddamn burqa, or they would never put some hijab on them to cover themselves or anything. It was always something that they would do by choice. If they wanted to do it, they would do it. If they never wanted to do it, they would never do it. And I still remember half of my classmates, they wouldn't eat anything. Like, if they wanted to eat something, they would eat it, or if they didn't, like, it, there was no religious prohibition on them for eating anything, right? But as we have grown up, as we have seen how the city culture and has impacted us, even during the time of COVID, we realized that there was these extremist religious groups that were just coming up, and they were they started becoming more and more influential to the religious people of our place, right? And there was like an upsurge of extremist, not extremist, but almost like extreme Islamic culture, extreme Hindu culture. And I just realized that nowadays my friends, no matter, like, yeah, nowadays my friends wouldn't get out of their house without a burqa. It, not a burqa but a hijab. Like, it's the sort of like this, social, the way people have just, like, before we used to be so much different from what we are now. And this entire turning point of this social curve, it's very debilitating, right? And yeah, it's almost as if we forgot what our village actually had. We forgot what our origins actually had, right? And everyone is just trying to be this religious junkie for some reason. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. I still remember, like, my my parent, like, not my parents, but like, most of the Hindu population also, many of them wouldn't apply any sindoor, or put any mangal sutra, all that nonsense. So all of a sudden, like, these extremist religious groups just come in, and all of these people are somewhat influenced into doing all that, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, what the heck are you all even doing, right? And yeah, so I don't know, I just feel like there is like this, I won't say shift in perspective, but I would say, like, there is this disappointment, or a point of like, you have reached a point of disappointment in your life about something. And I feel like, yeah, I think it's something, it's because you, I feel like the reason why it feels so weird to you is because, how can, it's because you had been overestimating this place or overestimating this dream, right? Because I feel like in your internal subconscious, you're like this queen. You have a herald. You are, you have a legacy of a very beautiful culture. You were born and brought up in a tradition that was, I won't say that was way abundant than this whatever you are experiencing in this dream place of yours, right? In this huge dream of yours. And I feel like this is the reason, and it's almost as if, like, you are considering, or you are basically angry most of the time, because you have to you have to stoop down to this level again and again. It's like, I feel like the anger is coming from one, from stooping down to this dream city, or this dream values. Like, whatever this long term dream is that you were dreaming of, you just realize that you have to stoop down to the you have to stoop down to that level with of these people, right? And it is very, I think it is very indignant for you. It feels really, I'm also getting, I think it's already very selfless of you to actually try to, like, understand these people and try to, um, bend down for other people. But what I'm getting in here is that you don't need to do that. You don't need to bend down for other people. Yeah, like, you don't need to bend down for other people. You don't need to put your head down for a bunch of people who are trying to pull you in this extremist side, right? Like, you know what abundance looks like, and I feel like because you know what abundance looks like, it's very, the anger within you is very amplifying, because it's like, you know what abundance looks like, and everybody around you is trying to, chain the other person into separatist ideologies, or people are trying to separate each other through sexuality, or through lust, or through desires. And I feel like this is like a wake up call for you to, go back to your roots, go back to your culture, and feel your nostalgia. Go back to your home to experience what it really means to be yourself, to experience what your origin actually feels like, and to, like, I feel like you're being asked to, like, separate yourself from these. I don't know why I'm getting like these are some so-called woke people for some reason who are doing anything questionable. Like, now I'm getting that idea in my head. I'm getting maps. So if you don't know what maps is minor attracted person. There are people who are just trying to, so it's like there are people who are trying to gain funds in the name of maps for for in sorry, they're trying to gain funds in the name of maps, and they're calling it an LGBTQ movement, all right, because these people are attracted to minors. There are people who are attracted to men, there are people who are attracted to women, and these people want to justify themselves as people who are attracted to minors, right? And I feel like, yeah, you accept. It's almost like, it's not like you don't accept the fact that these people are PDFs. It's just that it's this it's the seething anger with which in you, where I think you're just realizing that there are some people who are out there who are normalizing this in some manner. Because yeah, like, there used to be some people, by the way, about all this. I think I'm not saying that somebody is normalizing maps. I'm just saying that maybe there is something like this, somebody is presenting an idea that isn't woke at all, that isn't, like, a modern idea or anything. They are just trying to present some degenerate idea in the form of a very modernized movement or something like that, and it is very hard for you to accept this degeneracy, and it's making you really vindictive, and it's making you really angry about stuff. And I feel like your message is basically, it's not retreating, but it's basically connecting yourself to your roots, connecting yourself to your traditions, to your origin. Because I think the place where you come from has given you that abundance to be that queen, right? To think like a queen, to see things in a more compassionate and a graceful light. And you know that yeah, you know that whatever, I don't know how to say this, but you know that whatever is being shoved into other people's throats is not how something was originally meant to be. And it's kind of like making you vindictive on a daily basis, or it's kind of hurting you in some manner. Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing that there is something around the lines of, I don't know why I'm getting that song Blue and Grey by BTS V, but yeah, I'm getting that, like, you're finding it really hard to hold um, your you're finding it really hard to hold the truth, or you're finding it very hard to accept some things. Okay, wait a second, let me like pull these cards out. Yeah, because I'm seeing, like, I feel like there's, like, you're having a very hard time holding on to that wisdom that you had from your childhood. You're having a very hard time holding on to that nostalgia, and you're being asked to go back to your roots and go back to your traditions, so that you can hold on to those, so that you don't forget how your roots look like, or you don't forget what your actual moral looks like. Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, something around the lines of things being so twisted and turned that it's as if you're forgetting your own internal sense of compass, right? You're forgetting your own, how your own compass looks like. And I just feel like you need to go back to your sense of self, to your compass, so that you can, the destroyer in reverse. Yeah, I just feel like, you know how I was saying that, there could be, now this could also not mean by, now see, I'll just say this, all right? For example, you were taught, now I think I think you remember that I was giving you this example, right? That for some of you, you were taught that sex is a sin, and then all of a sudden you had an experience of, not you or somebody, if somebody, is taught from childhood that sex is sin, and then they grow up and one day they find a sexual assaulter, they would naturally hate the idea of sex. They would naturally hate the idea of men, even though sex is not a bad thing. All right. Now, I want you to take it with, in relation to context in here, because I don't know why I'm getting that. For some of you, it's like you were trying to destroy something, but in the end of the day, it's almost like you ended up over destroying. I feel like many of you destroyed the root cause of the evil, but I feel like there is something else that you did not destroy, like is there something else that you ended up over destroying. How do I say this? For example, I'll just speak from my own experience in my life, all right? There were these group of, I had to go through a lot, and there was these group of PDFs that I had in my life, right? I had to eliminate, like, in the sense I had to, like, get them in jail and put them in jail and all that stuff. Put them in jail in the sense, find all that evidence, and finally, go to the courtroom and strike back against these PDFs. So this is one thing that I've learned in my life, that that anger, that frustration, that stress that I got from that courtroom is an anger and frustration that I'll never forget in my entire life. That stress level is never gonna leave me behind, and that experience has made me so paranoid. Entire that questionnaire, the questionnaires that this opposing lawyer was asking, all of these things have made me so paranoid to what is gonna, to real life people and everything else, that I just realized that I was isolating myself, and I did not want to talk to anyone, because what if somebody else turned out to be a bad person, right? Because I had lost all the trust in the world. So that's what I'm getting in here. It's almost giving me that it's like you forget, like, don't let your paranoia, or don't let your connection to your inner self or to your origin flood away, because there were some people who decided to take advantage of you at some certain point of your life. That's what I'm getting in here. Yeah. It's all right to, lose it at one point of our life, but I'm almost getting that don't stay so paranoid for a very long period of time, or don't stay in that state. Don't stay in that state of mind forever. Get out of that place. Try to see the world in a different manner or in a different perspective. I feel like something could have happened that just, I don't know, with this, I said, right, like suddenly you saw a different side to this person, the coin flipped or something like that. I feel like this was some turning point in your life. Like there was something that happened in your life that turned around the entire perspective, it turned the entire narrative over. And what I'm trying to tell you is that if it is over, now that if it is not over, of course, continue fighting. But if it is over, I don't know why for many of you, even if it is not over, try not to let the fear, it's almost like it can be so hard to, get over that fear, that pain. For me, it was so hard. I just realized that I almost detached from my emotions. I started becoming numb, and honestly, it was one of the weirdest moments of my life. Um I find it so hard to like go back into that state of mind. But it's almost like, if you feel numb, or not if you feel numb, but don't allow this one life changing event to turn your entire perception um, bad, or to turn your entire perception into like, yeah, don't let it turn you into this mermaid that keeps on screaming at anything, right? She doesn't know if this person is going to harm her or not, but she's screaming at him for no reason. That's what I'm getting in here. Don't let your life experiences harden you to the point that it starts taking away what matters the most, or it starts, yeah, or when or the hatred starts becoming not disappointing, but basically hurtful to the point that you start losing interest in the world around you, and you start perceiving the world as this very bad place, to the point that you're not able to see things in a proper manner. You're not able to process or come to a conclusion to whatever has happened, right? So I'll just take out the Cantigi Oracle. Let's see what comes out for you. All right. The fork in a road. I am working with this deck for the first time, so I I really don't know how to take reversals in this deck. All right, but yeah, this is the card that has come out. The fork in the road. So I'll read about it from the guidebook. All right. So I'll read the story of this card. All right. Yeah, I don't know if I can like hold it. Wait a second. Let me just. Darn, it's so hard. But yeah. All right. So the fork in the road. You are in a canoe. Oh Lord, why are my pronunciations so bad? You are in a canoe paddling downstream. It is a gentle journey. It is a hard journey. It all depends on your perspective, which changes with each bend in the river. And with the passage of time and distance, your body travels with the flow of. I don't know, can I keep it in front of your eyes like this? Yeah, I think I can. So let's see, okay? You are in a canoe paddling downstream. It is a gentle journey and it is a hard journey. It all depends on your perspective, which changes with each bend in the river and with each passage of time and distance. Your body travels with the flow of a river as your mind follows its own course. As you observe your journey along these concurrent streams, they seem to merge into one flow. You follow the river's course until it splits into two forks. There is no there is no more simply continuing on. You are at the moment of choice. You do not know what either choice will lead to. One fork appears to lead to a lighter landscape, the other to a dark territory. This does not help you choose. This does not help you choose, though, as you remember, dark spaces leading you to treasure and bright spaces leading you to injury. Instead, you close your eyes and head towards a tributary that inspires the feeling of soft strength in your joints and long smoothness in your breath. Okay, so that's what I'm getting in here. Precisely, that's how I'm getting this entire reading as, right? There are these two forks in the road. How I'm getting is that you were perusing, or you were like drifting with the flow of the river, and all of a sudden you saw this, and like, I feel like, yeah, you were hurt before, maybe by this. I think, yeah, there was a point in your life where you were hurt by this, you know, happy road in some point of your life, and you realize that this dark road used to lead you to treasure. So with this energy, what I'm getting in here is that for many of you, some of you right here, it's this paranoia of good things in life. It's this paranoia of finding things that are familiar, or finding things that are, feeling safe to you. So instead, what you do is that you close your eyes, you let your instincts decide which path is the path that you need to go towards, which path is inspiring a soft strength within you, which path is reminding you of a softness, or yeah, soft strength. That's what I'm getting with the queen. So soft strength, it gives me that energy of gracefulness and compassion. You're seeking which path is going to take you towards that queen, which path. There is an inner queen within you, there is an abundance within you. You have that compassion and gracefulness in your heart. You have that patience within you. It's there. It's your inner you. It's your subconscious state of mind. It's just that you have to learn to trust it. You have to learn to trust that inner queen, and not look at yourself like this siren in reverse. Do not look at yourself as this wicked person, or somebody who manipulates other people, right? Or if you are looking at yourself like that, or don't look at yourself as, or don't be so vindictive of the truth, or don't be so like, yeah, don't be so angry about things revealing to you in a bad manner. Like, try to take things with grace, try to take things with kindness, try to take things with compassion, right? Try to see life that way. And yeah, I just feel like the inner you knows that, and whoever that, and this queen right here, she's trying to tell you that, you know you don't need to see whether a path is a good path for you or not. You need to feel it. If it feels the right path for you, go towards it, right? Grab it. I'm getting lunge towards it. So almost like I'm getting that maybe you are having a point, there's a point that is coming in your life where you are having to take that leap of faith. Yeah. So I just, yeah, see? Keynotes. A defining and fleeting moment of choice. Trust your ability to handle whichever outcome you choose. Rather than letting the surface appearances of the paths before you sway your decision, tune into how your body responds to each possibility. Yeah, trust your ability to handle, yeah, no matter what choice you choose, okay? Know that you have, trust yourself enough to know that you have that capability to handle whatever comes in your way. Don't let any surface appearances of the path before you sway your decision. Tune into how your body feels to each possibility. Tune into how you feel about it. Tune into the fact. Tune into how all of this, which path makes you feel more lighter, which path gives you that strength within you, right? Hello, soul seers. Welcome to the Seer Tarot readings. So, um, this is going to be a collective read. Um, Please take this read for entertainment purposes only. They are not meant to be an alternative for professional, legal, financial, or health advice. All right. Okay. So as you guys always know that I often shuffle my cards with the camera and I lay them down, right? But I don't know. Like as I was doing this particular read, right? As I was putting I actually did do a reading for this entire thing, but then I have to do it again because I don't know. It's like by the end of this read, I almost I started saying some things that I, how do I say this, that I don't, I just started speaking about, I just realized that I was saying some things, or I was like trying to, almost as if I was trying to justify something wrong through my read, and it was like it was a very bad indication, because I was like, why am I trying to justify this thing, why am I trying to put this out there? So I don't know, there is something along the lines of there are people around you who are, there could be people around you who could be trying to like justify, I'm getting snail behavior, so justifying delays, justifying slowness, there's some sort of like procrastination that could be there, that these people are trying to justify. Yeah, I'm getting somebody thinks that somebody isn't intellectually capable or smart enough to understand what is going on around them. And I won't lie to you, when I saw the silent card in reverse at first, I was like, okay, the silent card is in reverse. And that often talks about somebody who has gone deep into their, who, silent in reverse is somebody who is controlled by their own desire, by their lust, by their sexual desires, more than them controlling, them being in awe, or them being in an in a state of admiring their own sexual desires. The silent reverse is basically people, um, being controlled by their own sexual desires, being controlled by lust, greed, gluttony, um, all these, malice, bloodlust, you know, um, addictions. So it's basically somebody who's controlled by their own addictions. And that crone in reverse is somebody who is like, they know the truth. It's like, it's basically somebody, crone in reverse is somebody who enjoys being in this bitter state. They enjoy being, not enjoy being in the bitter state, but they're basically somebody who, I'm getting twist truth. So there is somebody who could be twisting truth in this story. This could be you, this could be someone else whom you relate to, I don't know. But yeah, somebody could be twisting truths. Like some, I don't know, it's like either you trust this person and this person is twisting truths, or this person trusts you and you are twisting truths. One of these, all right? So somebody could be twisting the truth. I'm also getting like someone is, I'm getting really shy and afraid of going on I don't know what that means, but they're really shy and afraid of. Now I'm getting that song by BTS V. Um, what is that? It starts with going on and on and on and on, something like that. I think it's Blue. Blue. Yeah, I think it's BTS V is Blue. It's interesting that we actually have some hints of blue in here, right? Yeah, it's like somebody doesn't like somebody's being very rude, or I don't know. The truth is really ugly, and it's like they're really angry about it. They're really sad about it. They're really sad that the truth exists, or the truth has come out in some way. Yeah, this could be in relation to somebody's connection with their hometown or their origin story or their place. So there's something around the lines of somebody who just doesn't likes the fact that people got to know their origin story, or people just realize that this individual comes from a small town or a small village or a small area. Yeah, like whoever this person could be, they could have sort of I think they are very hedonistic in some manners. They are very much controlled by their pleasures, by their desires. It's a very interesting thing because yesterday I was watching this video. I think the guy's name was Sly Boy, I think so. Sly Box. I don't know. The YouTube channel Sly Boy or Sly Box. And I was seeing, that there was this guy was actually trying to um, expose a map or PDF file, right? And they went to their hometown and they tried to expose this PDF file. Who was trying to get funds through LGBTQ movement. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I don't know. So that's a story that is coming in my head. I'm not saying that that is significant. What I'm telling you is that I'm getting a person. There is an individual in here who is mostly they are run by their vices. They are um, you know what, I'm thinking that I'll edit that one. Like whatever, before recording this video, I had recorded another video, and I'm thinking I'll edit that video and I'll post it separately, because I don't know why. I was like, it was such a sensitive topic, right? All of a sudden this sensitive topic came up, and um, I just did not know. It almost felt like I was justifying an actions of some degenerate human being, you know? And I don't know why, but I feel like somebody doesn't likes the fact that when they pretended to be so much high fi and everything else, that like they were trying to pretend to be something else. They were pretending to be this huge object of admiration and this and that, but it's like somebody found out their connection to their village or their town, and they're not that happy, or they're not that satisfied, or there's something around the lines of they're just not, even though I feel like on the inside they know that they are okay, wait, I'm not trying to justify any sort of bad disgusting degeneracy that some people do out there, but what I'm trying to tell you is that somebody, either they have forgotten that they were a queen, or they have forgotten that whatever they are an abundant person, or they forgot their confidence, or they forgot their grace, they forgot their, I think it was really hard for this person to be soft, to be a soft individual in public, or it was very hard for them to be vulnerable, because um, because of the association of their place. So it could be something around the lines of somebody being racist with you, and because you come from a certain place, somebody discriminating against you because you come from a certain place. And the truth hurts you a lot because you were trying to, I don't know, I'm almost getting like, you're trying to chase your sexual desires in some manner, and then you were, yeah, I think you just got caught up with the fact that somebody doesn't likes you because you come from a certain place. And it's like in the end you forgot that whatever you are today, or the queen that you are inside, doesn't needs to beg or doesn't needs to chase people. And it's like you forgot your own connection with the village, and like with your origin place, with your origin story, and that's sort of causing a lot of drama or a lot of issues in your life, because I think it's made you a lot of very vindictive. It feels real, I feel like you're very hurt by the sentiments or by the kind of I don't know, people that you're catching left and right, like um I don't know what's the word. It's kind of like, catching flies left and right, catching problems left and right. So like it's like you were really caught up in all of this nonsense. And yeah, the Hierophant in reverse, and something around the lines of maybe somebody lied about their official name, or they lied about the place that they come from, and or they lied about some official status. All right, they lied about something. I'm also getting like cheating in here, like somebody lied about their spouse, like them having a spouse or something like that. Yeah, it's also like people found out that this person was really happy at the place that they were staying at, and it doesn't fits with their perception of what happiness looks like I just feel like there are these bunch of urban settlers who feel like, not urban settlers, but somebody just recognize the fact that somebody actually loves their place that they come from. They actually love the people, or they actually love the origins, or the origins of their story. It's just that they feel really vindictive of the fact of the way people treat them for coming from this place. Yeah, yeah, there's something around the lines of you were like trying, there was this long term goal that you were trying to achieve in your life for a very long time. uh uh this song, what is this, I was getting this song, Blue and Grey by BTS. I was getting that song in this reading as well. By the way, yeah, something along the lines of, yeah, like people are just, I don't know, there's like their viewpoints are very black and white. Yeah, they look at things very in a very black and white manner, and this person knows that there's a gray area, and it's like they're associating this black and white mindset of other people as a blue, because it's kind of like it makes them sad that people look at things in a black and white manner. So they see themselves as color blue, and they say see their village as color gray. If you see this card properly, you'll see that all these leaves in here, they are mostly like they are black and white. None of this is gray, but if you see it from far away, it seems like, all of these places are gray. So something around the lines of like this. And because the crone is in reverse, I'm seeing so much blue in here. I feel like this person looks at other people, looking at them in a very like, the other people who see black and white, they see them as like, it makes them feel blue about it. And then if you don't know, the in I think it is in like filmography or something like that, we often consider sadness or depression with color blue. So even if you go to this Pixie movie, not Pixar, yeah, Pixar movie. What is that Pixar movie? Emotions. No. Riley's Brain Cells. I don't know. Is it Riley's Brain Cells? What is the name of that movie? Yeah. So you'll see that there's a character in Riley's head who is blue in color. She's sadness, right? So it's basically I'm getting like somebody is blue and gray about it. That's what I'm getting in here. So I feel like somebody had a very long term, like they had dreamt of this dream for a very long time that they wanted to do this. Yeah, I'm getting like, see, I'm seeing this rainbow color in here. I feel like, yeah, somebody had been, I don't know, it could also be that somebody was dreaming or somebody is in a long term relationship with a LGBTQ human being. Yeah, LGBTQIA plus. So I feel like somebody's, yeah, yeah, it's almost like the luck is not on their side. Like it's like somebody had a long term dream of going somewhere, and then they just realized that this dream was not worth it. I don't know why I was getting plastic in here, because it's yeah, it almost reminds me like, yeah, it's like, there is I'm getting like Finding Nemo, so Nemo kind of like goes away from Pacific Ocean to, I don't know, whatever ocean Nemo is from. Nemo goes from Pacific Ocean to the urban city side, and he goes to those polluted rivers, polluted oceans, right? So the polluted oceans have um, so much plastic, right? And it's very different from the abundance that he came from the small village, from the far off place where Nemo came from, right? So there's something around the lines of somebody dreamed of going to this place, somebody dreamed of going to this huge space in life, and then they just realized that um, this wasn't going to work out, things are not going to work out well, or they just realized that this place is um, not worth the time or something like that, or I don't know, there was like a, yeah, I'm also getting that this could have been something really depressing, because I'm getting nine of swords in reverse in here. So something along the lines of something very traumatizing happened that caused you or this person to like scream, screech, you know and they just lost all hope for their dreams, their whatever they wanted to do in their life. Yeah, and when I'm seeing Four of Cups, they were pretty disappointed with how life turned out, or how things didn't turn out in their favor. And yeah, that depression, that disappointment, it led to a circle of, okay, seeing Starborn card in here. Card number 3. Okay, so I just read the Starborn card. Yeah, the Starborn card also says that you need to like reconnect with your inner self, go back and reconnect with your inner child, with your old self, because I feel like there was this huge dream that somebody had, but because of like bad luck or some sort of bad uh, destiny, or due to a bad turn that they took in their life, yeah, it's like something really depressive happened, a very depressive episode took place, and this person became really vindictive, and they just started um, going down this path of turning into something that everybody admires, or turning into this objectified um, thing of admiration. And that, I think, that is what is like leading to I won't say unsuccess, but it's kind of it's what is like becoming a downfall of this individual, because this person is trying to become, they're trying to become that, I don't know, they're trying to become that object of admiration, or they're trying to become that sensationalized, yeah, sensationalized thing, That is what is causing this person's downfall. It's because they have been, I think it's because also for the fact that I think they were disappointed for being their original self, or people just did not like them for who they were. And since they could only keep up the act for so long, yeah, all of a sudden if things are just spiraling down and they're not able to find their own sense of self. So I saw the starbound card just now in here. Yeah, I saw the starbound card in here, and this card talks about going back to childhood, or going back to the things that you always wanted to do. I'm also saying that whatever that thing was that somebody wanted to do, um, they have put that on a halt, or they are not. Um, See, it's in here. When this card appears, travel back to your birth stories for clues and insights. What did you desire when you were young? And this is what I'm getting. I feel like somebody sacrificed the desire of whatever they wanted to be when they were young, and completely forgot the queen, completely forgot that person that they were actually, like, that they almost forgot, how do I say this, they forgot the emotion, they forgot the emotion of being who they are, or they forgot that, how do I say this vibe, this intentional human being that they used to be before. It's almost as if they don't feel themselves anymore, you know yeah. And it's like they're finding it very hard to cope with reality now. So this is the final card that I got in this read. This is a fork in the river. So this card basically talks about um, it talks about somebody is on a fork of road, like somebody is like, how, there is like this river, and somebody is in the fork, somebody is standing in the fork of the road right now, or fork of the river right now, and they need to decide if they want to go to this path, or if they want to go to this path. And I feel like because of the past disappointment that this person has had before, they feel they don't know if the path that is looking happy on the outside is a good path or not, because they had been paranoid of it before, right? Like, so it's kind of like this card often advises us to, ground ourselves and ask ourselves if this is the path that we want to take or not, or if this is the path that we want to go in, if we want to go in this path or this path. Like, the advice of this card is that we need to ground ourselves and let our body tell us, like, what and close our eyes, so that the surface appearances don't sway our decisions. Instead, we should let um, our inner guidance guide us, right? And that is what I'm getting in here. Like, let your inner guidance guide you. Let your um like, don't let the surface appearances of these two choices um confuse you in any manner. Close your eyes, you know think about the first option. If the first option actually gives you that soft strength within you to move towards it, go to the first option. If it is not the first, if the first option gives you, like, it's kind of like you don't need to overanalyze the options on the road. Instead, just stand on the fork of the road and meditate on the options that you have. Whichever option feels like the right option for you, go towards that option, right? This is a sort of a thing that we do in pick a card readings as well. It doesn't matter how the cards look on the outside. Just close your eyes, think about your question, or think about the option one, option two, whichever option gives you that feeling, right? That, okay, this might be my pile, this might be my place. Go towards that option. Not every single time is it going to be the right option. Like, not every single time it's going to be the option that looks like a path, like looks like the happy path. Sometimes it can be the dark path that can lead to greater treasures, right? So which path do you think is the right path for you? It's it's not about thinking, it's about making an intuitive decision in the present. I'll just read it from the guidebook so that you can understand it much better. A defining and fleeting moment in choice. Trust your ability to handle whichever outcome you choose. Rather than letting the surface appearances of the path before you sway your decision, tune in to how your body responds to each possibility. Yeah, I'll just read it in here, from here, all right. This archetype, so in modern Western cultures, we are taught to think our decisions through. We are often told to weigh the pros and cons to assess the potential outcomes. Thinking and assessing involves sending your attention to things that are not only beyond you, but also into the uncertain and unpredictable realms of future. So it's basically, you don't know what is going to happen in your future. You don't know what is going to happen if you take this path or this path. But the thing is, this card is not telling you to overthink and reassess those things. This card is telling you to ground yourself. It is telling you to ground yourself to this reality. Start thinking in the present and ask yourself and understand your present situation, and based on that, make a choice for yourself, right? This archetype, this card is telling you that, wait a second, I'll just go to the practice of this card. Yeah. So, see, first quiet and center yourself. Enter into the present moment by slowly attending to the quality of your breathing. Notice the sensation and overall relaxation and tensility of your body without thinking about what might happen if you choose one option or another. Notice how your body feels and what happens to your breath when you imagine choosing one option. And then notice how your body feels. What happens in your breathing when you imagine choosing the second option. If imagining one option relaxes and vitalizes your body, then that is the direction that you need to head in, right? If both the options feels equally positive, negative or neutral, it's time to take a pause and plan to return to your decision later. Also, there are times when one option is no better than the other option. So it's just a matter of picking one option and letting go of the other option. Then following through how things will unfold. So it's basically like, see, that's what I'm telling you. Like, you guys might need to, like, you guys might need to meditate on your present moment, like which choice do you feel as of now. Like, stop thinking and start noticing the start noticing how your body feels or how you feel about taking this choice, right? How you subconsciously and consciously feel about this choice. If it doesn't feed your soul, it isn't meant to be. That's how it is, all right? If it doesn't makes your heart go, now I'm getting that song by BTS again. I don't know why I'm channeling so many BTS songs, but again, I'm getting that song Black Swan by BTS, right? If it doesn't makes your heart go pump, 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 what am I saying? But if it doesn't makes your heart go crazy, it isn't meant for you, right? So take the choice which you feel is motivating you, which you feel is and in this case, how I'm feeling is that, like, I don't know why I'm getting kind of like there was some sort of defamation that happened because somebody found out someone's connection to their um place, and that's what I'm getting. Instead of letting that disappoint you so much, in life, instead of letting that disappoint you, um try to calm yourself. And I don't know why I'm getting like, maybe I should tell you to be be happy. Like, there is something that my mom used to say when I was a kid, all right? This is my mom's advice before she passed away. But my mom always told me to always take the path that always do what my heart tells me to do. Always do what always do whatever my heart wants to do, even if it doesn't seems like the right part. Do what your heart tells you to do. That is a family advice. That's a mom advice, all right. So she just told me this one thing, that no matter what happens in your life, always do what your heart feels like doing. Always do what your heart wants to do. Yeah, so that's the thing. If you feel like you need to become sensationalized, or you need to sensationalize yourself, take that path. That's your choice. If you feel like you don't need to sensationalize yourself, it's fine, don't take that path, take something else. Take the path that is less traveled. Right now I'm getting that poem by William Wordsworth, A Path Less Traveled. I think that's the name of the poem. But you don't need to. I think it was not A Path Less Traveled. Maybe the name of the William Wordsworth poem was Fork in the Road. you know yeah, you don't need to take, like, yeah, you don't need to take the path that keeps everybody happy. Sometimes you can take the path that, if you see this card properly, you'll see there are eyes in here, and it reminds me of evil eyes. So you can take the path that keeps you away from people's eyes, or you can take the path that pleases everyone, right? Whichever path you need to take, just ask your heart if it wants to take that path. Do whatever you feel like doing. You don't need to, yeah, you don't need to push yourself, or you don't need to succumb to other people's, it's almost like not other people's, bruv. I'm also getting kind of like, you don't need to succumb yourself to what everybody has to, like, what everybody has to say. You don't need to disappoint yourself of for showing, like, you don't need to, if you can take the disappointment that other people are feeling out of your originality, take the path that you want. Like, take the path that, like, oh lord, you don't need to stop on your tracks just because other people are disappointed by your work. Yeah, that's what I'm getting in here. Like, you don't need to do that. If like, do whatever, maybe do whatever, do it whatever your heart wants you to do. You don't need to take a path where you know that you will end up failing, or that you will have to end up acting in a certain type of manner. You don't need to take that path at all. You can just choose whichever place you want to go, and you have that choice. And I think that's the thing that I'm getting here. You have that choice. You don't need to feel helpless. You cannot change your origin story. That's the point. Connect to your origin story. You cannot change the place where you come from. You cannot change the foundations of who you have been, of the person. You cannot change your foundations. You cannot change your blood. You cannot change your um how do I say this? You cannot change your blood. You cannot change your kinsmen, right? You cannot change those people, even if those people turned out to be really bad people later on, right? But in the end of, like, you cannot change the fact that those people are your blood. You cannot change that. But you can change your destiny. You can go towards a path that you want to go at. You don't need to sit in that state of denial, that because a few people denied you, or a few people rejected you. You don't need to sit on that. You can easily take these two paths. You can easily take any one path that feels more called to you, and go towards it. There is no, I just feel like maybe you feel really vindictive of the fact that, like, I feel like somebody in here just started hating their own city, or they don't like their own origin place, because people, like, many people do not have really good opinions of this place, so they started hating on their place. That's the thing. You should stop disconnecting. Don't disconnect yourself with your origin story. Instead, disconnect yourself from people who make you feel bad about your origin story. If that's the case, if you can still, if you want to go with these people who look at things in a black and white manner, that's your choice. This is something that I found really, like, I used to, like, go to these certain tarot readers and channels, and my intuitive energy would tell me something about these people. And the moment my intuition tells me something, I don't care if somebody, like, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. If my intuition is telling me that, okay, these people think like this about you or like that about you, I cut those people off of my life. I don't need to sit right there and explain them every single thing, right? This is something that I've seen. I still remember there were some tarot readers. I don't know, I think it was like this recent incident that happened, right? And I think I'll just start telling about India, right? Like how in India this recent incident happened about a cow poop throwing festival, and this was something that I myself never knew about. Neither was I among the people who was doxing this guy for posting that. I was all right with him posting it. It's like, plus he's a content creator. He's just trying to create a hype about it. And the thing is, most of the people of this country actually, what they ended up doing is that they started doxing him. They gave him the vibe, that they gave him the hype that this guy asked for. And now um it's like, yeah, now that, like, as a successful content creator, he just got the fame that he wanted for such a long time, right? And it's almost like, how do I say this, I cannot, like, I cannot, how do I say this, it's like there are some people out there who will justify that festival. For me, I don't know what to say. For me, it was like, yeah, that's their festival, what can I even say about that? For I and like, it was almost like some, like, how do I say this, some people were acting like, um something came out, as if like somebody was exposed, or this festival exposed a whole damn country and everything else, when that's not even like, yeah, I just don't have that much energy within me to go out there and explain everybody that, that's just like, it's not something. If you think that something about this country got exposed because somebody in a remote village started to playing a cow poop throwing festival, I mean, um, I cannot help you, and like, I cannot help. It's not even help. I just cannot sit right there and, like, keep on explaining to them, even though it's given, even though the explanation is given everywhere. I cannot, like, sit right there and keep on explaining people that, okay, um, that's it's still, yeah, it's like, no, what am I even supposed to say on that, right? If somebody thinks that that's an expose of this entire country, or somebody thinks that that small culture is a culture of the entire country, I cannot help someone like that, right? I cannot help someone who thinks that way. Yeah, so I've just stopped following some of these tarot readers. I've just stopped interacting with some of these channels, because I was like, yeah, I just can't. I was like, yeah, that's you. If that's how you want to think about it, that's how you can think about it that way, all right? Even I can think a lot of things about it, about your origin place, all right? But it's not like, yeah, you don't see me saying everybody that, Africa is a place where there is no water, or I don't say things like, Africa is a very poor country, people don't have water or food resources in there. I don't care how many people are going to come and tell me that South Africa is a place like that. I've visited South Africa. It's like not all of South Africa, but I've gone to some countries, right? And I've seen beautiful buildings. I've seen clean roads in there everywhere. I've seen that whole damn fucking Gandhi statue. I still hate Gandhi. I don't care how many people are going to say that he was a really good guy. He was a fucking racist motherfucker. I don't know why do black people even erect statues of that fucking Gandhi in Durban for no reason. Okay. So honestly speaking, like, yeah, I don't keep those stereotypes about any place, because I'm well traveled. I know it. But there are people who have that stereotype that that something about me is like that, or something like they have exposed something about me all of a sudden, and um, about like they know like India's secret is out there. And I just can't. I just cannot yeah, I just cannot it's there's no explanation to such kind of some like it's sort of like how can you even explain, like it is like trying to explain a bunch of people what evolution is, but in the end of the day, no matter what you tell them, they're still gonna believe in Adam and Eve, right? So it's like it's just I just yeah, it's like it's nothing can be said on that. And somebody was really good at the only thing we can say is that somebody was really good at marketing themselves, and they actually ended up rage baiting an entire group of people who thought that they did something by doxing this person. And yeah, now that and yeah, now that they just realize how much of a how easily they were manipulated into marketing this guy's content. I think yeah, things are just like that, right? So that's what I'm saying in but that's what I'm getting in here, like kind of like um no road is the like take whatever road you want to take, choose whatever you want to choose, you you don't have to take the path that pleases everybody, you don't have to take the path that sits right with everybody, and it's all right to be like that, it's fine. So yeah, I think that's it for the reading today. Have a great day, soul seers. Bye bye.